This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed artist and producer, the one and only Amber Wilson. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at Amber's incredible talent. And by the way, my doggy Bella says hi too.
Amber, don't do it. Oh my God. Amber, let him go. Don't do it. Don't do it, Amber. Oh no. I bought a little black dress to pretend that I'm not a mess. Just need my friends and I'll be fine. We were never that close, but God, I loved your brown eyes. And when you said try, run and go, maybe I'm crazy for lying around daydreaming. What would it take for you to notice me? I know you'll only think of me as your coworker. It doesn't matter what I do, I know we're through, I know it's over. No matter how hard I try, I know you'll never be mine. I know you'll only think of me as your coworker.
Well, hello, Amber. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Amber, my dog Bella was so excited to meet you. But I'm so excited to meet you. It's been months in the works, and I want to know first and foremost, talk to me a little bit about the idea behind the song and the music video for your original tune, Coworker.
Yes. So Coworker came from a time in my life where I was in college in Kansas City and I worked closely with someone at a job and wasn't planning on falling for this person, but life happened and ended up falling hard for this person. And yeah, long story short, couldn't stop thinking about him and I wrote a song about it. And then of course started doing the promo for it after I released the song and realized that I still wasn't over him. And then that's how I came up with the music video. I was just like, you know what, like this is probably the most unconventional way to shoot my shot, but you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And
We're in a pandemic. What's conventional these days, Amber?
that's very true. Yeah, we're in a pandemic. Like, what is conventional anymore? But no, yeah, it was that plus the idea too of like, I was just thinking like, I feel like at some point, like we all have had a relationship with a coworker where it's like, you know, you work so closely with someone every day and it's just like, it's kind of inevitable. Like you're around someone all the time, every day that, you know, you might catch feelings. And so I think for me too, it's just important to write this song too for people who may not have like the confidence to like put themselves out there as well. It's like, it's not just my song anymore, but it's like, it's everyone's song. And so, yeah,
I
coworker is
love
definitely
that.
like,
But I
yeah.
think it's something that I think is so relatable that I think very few people, let alone artists, have touched upon. And so I think when they see the music video and hear the song, I think you're right. I think it is going to give people that confidence to feel free to share their story.
Absolutely. And that was the goal. It was just, you know, like Amber, just put yourself out there. Like, yes, it's terrifying and it's scary, but I think the most rewarding things in life are the things that scare us and terrify us.
Yes.
So yeah, it was just so much fun making the track and the music video and everything. So I'm honored.
Well, Amber, I want to know too, where were you born? And I want to know like the musical landscape that you grew up with. What was playing in the house? What were your influences? And was there a point in life when you were like, wow, this is something I really want to pursue on a professional front?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually from Houston in Texas. And so of course, like Houston has like big name artists like Beyonce and Lizzo, and I think even Travis Scott as well, and just like a bunch of really big named artists. So the musical scene in that landscape was like obviously like hardcore because of just those big names right there. And then for me personally, like I come from a family of people that do dabble in music. Like both my parents are singers, and my grandmother and my aunt, they sing and they play piano, and my brother, he plays drums a little bit too. So it was just one of those things where it's like, even though growing up it wasn't on my radar, it was kind of like ingrained in a sense because it was just like I was surrounded by that. And then I just remember too, like on Saturday mornings, like waking up and, being from Texas is a part of the Bible Belt and everything. So like being in a Black household, like gospel music was always playing, like on Saturday mornings, like, oh, it's time to clean the house. Like there's that gospel music in the background. And then of course too, like when I started going to public school and like middle school and high school and stuff like that, I got more exposed to artists like One Direction and the 1975 and geez, like Glass Animals, just like naming a few off the top of my head that I just remember like the first time I heard those songs, I was just like, wow, like these artists, like they have that thing. And I don't really know what that thing is at the time, but I just remembered being so like fascinated and intrigued by that. And I think that at that time in my life when I was like 13, 14, like not quite middle school, not quite high school, like that in between phase, that's honestly where the seed was planted, like, the idea of like, oh, like I wonder if I could, like, at the time it wasn't even really popular, like the whole idea of like a at-home producer, like a bedroom studio producer. But I just remember being so young and just being like, oh, I wonder like if I could do that. I wonder like if I work really hard and I save my money and like hustle my parents to give me like allowance more for like taking out the trash, like I could save up for a MacBook and like get a software like Ableton or whatever and like start producing my own tracks and everything and just teach myself how to like produce like good songs and everything. And yeah, I don't know, I think just that, and also too as like social media started to be on the come up as well, like you see at the time too like the idea of a vlogger, like seeing vloggers and seeing how they literally took a job that was super unconventional in the public eye, and then the next thing you know, things like vlogging, being a content creator, it's like a conventional common thing now. And so I think things like that too, like seeing them do something that hadn't been done before was also really inspiring as well. And so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I also think, Amber, that you were kind of ahead of the game where you have so many artists during the pandemic take their art into their own hands, building their own studios, becoming their own mixers and engineers. You were doing this mentally like when you were a kid. I love that
Yeah.
you were ahead of the game.
Yes. Yeah, it's very crazy like looking back on it. Like I feel like I had a normal childhood, but at the same time I didn't because of like what you're saying. Like I was focused on things that most kids weren't. Like, yeah, I still had those moments, but
But you had, I think, Amber, you knew your bliss at a very young age. And I think there's testament to the fact that you lived in a very supportive household, but also
for
where
sure.
music was in your bone marrow as a kid. And the fact that you have been able, when I look at 30,000 feet of all of the musical genres that have inspired you, I love the fact that it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, whether it's music from the church, whether it's pop music, whether it's indie music, all of these genres that seem to have inspired you now get to go through the vessel of Amber Wilson
For
in you
sure.
creating your specific authentic voice, the authenticity, dare I say, that you admired in a lot of the artists you just spoke about.
Absolutely. No, yeah, that's definitely a good way to put it. Yeah, I think, of course, I'm always processing and thinking about like how life ended up the way that it did. Like, and I think that's a good way to put it, of like coming from a loving, supportive family that always as well
Yeah,
encouraged me to just go for it and work hard and just, have faith, but also be kind and like classy about it too. Like, I definitely think is something that I am honored that I got to experience growing up, because I know a lot of artists didn't come from that kind of a background and didn't have, not just artists, but people in general don't really come from a background where they can confidently say like, yeah, like my family's okay back home.
absolutely.
So
Well, listen, Amber, I also want to tap into before we go. Well, first, before I ask my final question, I want to let everyone know for more on the incredible Amber Wilson, you could read more about her right below this video. Amber, I know you have a single coming out, and I want to know about the single coming out, how people can get it. And also, I'm just, by the way, so excited you're joining this amazing new social media platform, FENIX360. I've done over 1,000 interviews thus far with artists all over the world. And I'm just thinking about an artist like yourself and the opportunity you now have to collaborate and connect with those artists. It's very exciting for me. I want to know about the single coming out and also what you're most looking forward to with the music you have yet to come out in 2022.
Yes, so I just announced a single yesterday. It's actually funny because we were talking about my musical influences growing up, but I decided that I wanted to go back, start off 2022 by honoring my roots. And so one of my all-time favorite bands and musical influences is the 1975. And I have decided to release a cover of one of their tracks off of their freshman album, self-titled 1975, called Haunt Bed. And I'm really excited. It's going to be out on January 14th. And I don't know, this one was quick because even though it's not my song, I just remembered like the first time I heard the song Haunt Bed by the 1975, I was 14. And I remember it was one of the first songs where it was the only song that I had listened to on repeat for like 3 weeks straight, and only that song. It was like every artist has like the song, like Haunt Bed is like the song. And
I love that.
yeah, so I just think it was just like a no-brainer, like, yeah, like I'm just gonna give it a shot and just, you know, come up with my rendition of it and just make my family, my friends, like people that support me, my music proud. And then hopefully too, like if any fans of the 1975 stumble across it, hopefully they too can like be proud of it and have like a more, I guess, like closer, for lack of better words, like a relatable version where it's not just like,
Yeah.
you know.
And
So
also what I love too, Amber, it's almost like a thank you. It's almost like a thank you card to not only the 1975, but to everyone in your life that has supported you. And I love that your thank you card gets to be your authentic rendition of a North Star for you that now can become perhaps a North Star for other young Amber Wilsons out there.
exactly. And it's the best feeling, like I said earlier, it's just the best feeling to, you know, like be in a path that I just enjoy and I'm so passionate about. So yeah, I'm excited for people to hear it and I'm excited for it to come out. It'll be available on all platforms on January 14th. And I have a little pre-save link for it that I can send you, or I can just refer people to my social media too. It's up to you. But yeah.
Well,
So
Amber Wilson, it is so nice to meet you again. I'm so excited you're joining this incredible new social media at FENIX360. And on top of that, I am so grateful that we are now connected.
likewise, I had fun today. Thank you for having me on the interview. So
Thank you.